Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We got another project going on for you. Today we're going to be working on blue wildebeest African mounts. African mounts are known to be a little bit more challenging because of the type of skin and type of salting that it happens on them in Africa. And I believe if we had access to the fresh skin, we wouldn't have this much challenge, but they come in, I believe they are salted with coarse salt, and by the time we get them in North America and get them into the tanners, sometimes they can be quite challenging. So guys who have worked on African skins, they know what I'm talking about. They sometimes they feel like a wet cardboard, and they either have too much stretch and they don't retract back, or they don't have any stretch at all. So anyway, under the throat here, I'm trying to create some wrinkle areas here. I have test fitted the skin before. I know how much of a extra skin I have there. So based on what I have basically figured out or guessed, I am creating a whole bunch of lines that, as you saw, I basically drew them with a Sharpie on the neck, and then I'm cutting them out with my regular saw. And then with my file, right now I'm trying to round off the edges of the cuts, because as you know, when you cut with the saw through the foam, you're creating straight edges. So I'm just creating a little bit of a rounder. Instead of having straight edges, I'm creating a little bit rounded edges on my saw lines. And how deep, you might ask? I would say, depending on how much skin you guessed by test fitting, you can create them from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, I would say. And basically how thick these cuts are. I go quite generous with them because I like to have more room than less. And basically what you can do, you can create different or multiple lines of crease or whatever you want to call it for wrinkles. And then you can, when you go to the sides of the wrinkles, you can have them a little bit less and less. So because it's going to be disappearing into the real skin, like being flat. Like wrinkles is not going to go all around. Wrinkles are basically happening where the bend is happening in the animal movement, where the joints are usually, where they have more skins, and they basically wrinkle up. There is multiple ways of creating wrinkles. There are different ways. People like to make them on the surface. I like to make them on the surface, and as you can see, going a little bit into the mannequin. I'm not saying that this is the only way. It's just one of the ways that I have come up with, and I have had good success. I'm very comfortable working with it. So anyway, with a smaller saw right now, I'm trying to make all the cuts that I have made into a wider one, and on the sides, which is both sides of the animal, I'm trying to basically make them smaller and finer, then leading into no wrinkle at all. So different size of saw blade helps to work with that. And also with your file, you just got to keep looking at the edges, make sure that all the edges are going to be rounded off. The foundation is always important. Whatever you build underneath, however you build it, you're going to get the same result on the outside. So take your time, make the wrinkles properly, and round them all off. You will see, I think I have a closer shot coming up fairly soon. You can see what I'm talking about rounding off the edges. And then enjoy the wrinkle work. I did a giraffe. There was thousands of wrinkles on it, and but it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was time consuming, but you can make fun out of it. Yeah, as you can see, the wrinkles coming into toward the head are getting shorter and narrower and smaller. I think here would show you what I'm talking about rounding off the edges of the cut. Now I have flattened out a piece of a ball of clay into a type of a flat, I would say it's about 1/4 inch thickness, and I cut off the excess here. What I do with this clay is pretty much the gaps that I created, I fill them up with clay halfway. Not totally, I don't fill them up 100%, but I fill them up halfway. That gives me a good, basically, what do you call it? When you have clay, when you're pushing the skin into the gaps, while there is clay in there, it creates a very smooth wrinkle. You could easily fill up those gaps or cuts with height paste and push your skin into it. But this way, when you push some clay halfway or fill up those cuts halfway, actually it helps you create a much nicer wrinkles on the animal, on the skin side when the time comes. Keep watching, you will see what I'm talking about a little bit further ahead in the video. Yeah, I'm pushing my fingers right into the cuts to create a little bit of a recess area so I can feel it from the skin side by the time I'm putting the skin on it. Now we're going to go quickly through applying the height paste. And of course, covering the face with my plastic wrap and sliding the skin over it. This skin came from Africa, basically cut open from the back, but I tubed it on the table before I start working on it. Have a little bit of a wet rag around to clean off the extra height paste that gets on the hair, and bag up the face so it doesn't dry out while we're going to work on the horns. The horns and the skull cut has been done before in the proper angle, so all we have to do is just bolt them down. Yeah, we decided to put this video in 3 parts because it can be a little bit too long. So in the first part of this video, we're going to cover up the foundation of the wrinkles and also how to put the horns on and do the mache work around the skull base. And then we will continue in the second part, which is pulling the skin over and finishing the mount. And also the third segment of the video will be interesting as well. It has some different methods for getting rid of some wrinkles that we don't want them. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. We will move on and we'll see you in the next segment of this video.